When I was little, I remember, and it's funny because working on this picture brought this memory up. But when I was little, I remember asking my mom why they had white in the box of crayons, because I would color white items with it as if I was doing anything. At the time, I didn't see it served a purpose at all to have that taking up one of the spots for the color of a crayon. I just didn't see any point in this color whatsoever. It wasn't until, in fact, I don't think it was till years later, still in the crayon era of my life, that I realized, oh, you could color on, brown paper and stuff. But, I guess for the most part, like when you really think back, coloring books back then had almost a tint to the paper. It was that really crappy, not smooth, like that fluffy-esque paper that you would get in your typical your Smurfs coloring book or whatever it was. So I mean, it had some purpose. I just never really used the white, and it wasn't until years later that I got more and more into enjoying when it came to coloring items that are white. So I designed this picture in mind. I knew right off the get-go when drawing these three cats, none of them were going to be, it wasn't going to be like a gray cat or like an orange tabby. I knew I was going into all of these as the lucky cat, and I was going to do all of them white. And I enjoy that. I really, to this day, I got to the point that I really started enjoying coloring white items, because I never leave them blank. I never just say this is white and then move on. I'll always grab some of my light grays and like a lot of the cool grays or the warm grays that are really light, and I'll touch up certain areas where the shading would be. And if the image is pre-shaded, I'll go over that and I'll kind of fade it in more of a gradient as well. But it just, I don't know, something about that color or the lack of color, something about that white, that empty palette that lets me really pop out like pink on the ears, or the gold that's around them, or the blue in the background, the blush on the cheeks. There's just, I really, really enjoy when I come across a character, mainly like these cats and stuff, but something that's white that it really lets me pop the other colors around it. I think that's something I in almost every drawing, I try to find what's that one item I could make white so I could emphasize some of the other colors around it. So on a non-coloring note, these are three lucky cats. Man, oh man, I love me a lucky cat. I've had a thing for these little guys for years and years and years. I just thought they were the coolest. I mean, they're these fat little jolly cats, usually represented by, they're solid white cats, and they usually have like gold, whether it's a bell on them or the red collar or red bandana around their neck. It's usually represented, the gold, red, and white. And I draw these guys quite often. I don't usually share them, especially for coloring pages, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't see as many other people enjoying coloring these as I do. I went into these in the design knowing I was going to add blue in the background, knowing where I was going to add all the color and stuff, but I just didn't think as many other people would share that enthusiasm that I had with them. But yeah, these are just fun little guys. They're the ones, like when you go into like a Chinese restaurant, you'll see them sitting up on the counter. What they're doing is, it looks like they're waving hello or waving goodbye because their arm is always in motion. But in reality, what I found is what they're actually doing is they're welcoming you. They're saying, come on in. And again, just to look at them, what's not to love? They're these absolutely adorable, super happy cats.